Hi guys! So today I'm going to be talking about Shadows of Brimstone. It's not going to be a traditional guide on how to play the game, to be completely frank with you, because I don't know the rules as well as I'd like to be able to do that. I've played it 4 or 5 times. It's such a great game though, and I know there's loads of people interested in sort of how it plays and that sort of thing. So don't expect this to be flawless in any way, shape or form, but I thought we could open up the box and have a look at what's inside and maybe set up a game and go through a few turns. So without further ado, let's open up the box. Okay, so apologies for the lens flare. I've got lights overhead, so it's a bit glary. So I'm not going to spend ages in this. You've got your adventure book, which is already a bit... I've folded it unfortunately, but never mind. And the rule book, which we all know and love. Okay, the adventure book's relatively thick. It's got some good bits in it. I will show a few sheets. I know that some of the other guys doing their overviews, they've been really great, they're really interesting, but they haven't sort of gone into detail. I'm being a bit naughty. I'm going to show you some interesting things, because I know personally that I would love to have seen these things before I got into it, so I don't see the harm in showing people. You can see my minis do all fit in there. They're all sort of thrown in higgledy-piggledy. They're all right quality. Let me just see if I can... So you can see them. I'm not unhappy with them in any way, shape or form. But you can see there's sort of mould, not mould lines, but sort of gaps. I think with a good bit of paint or even green stuff, if you're up to that, you would be okay. Bit worried about the hands. They glue together really well. They're no problem whatsoever. These guys are the most problematic. Okay, again, you sort of... So the stranglers with their little tentacles, they don't fit brilliantly. This is the one which... oh no, this is a normal one. Problem is the sprues are wrong. So if you're ever making these, it's worth just going on Board Game Geek and seeing how they work. I can't really explain it anymore. But yeah, tentacles, nice. Void spiders, I think are actually really cool. So you've got your little spider there. He's got his teeth underneath, if you can see that. Loads and loads of tokens, as you can imagine, with FFP, not FFG. So I've bagged them all up. I've put in all of the sort of cross pieces there, and then underneath I have the rest of the tiles. I was worried that there wouldn't be enough tiles, but in reality there are tons. So I don't think it's any problem whatsoever. You can see I've got a little bit of fabric here. The middle thing, you can't quite get your finger down. These ones you can go all the way down and pull them out. This one you can't, so it's just designed to pull all of them out. And already, because it's flat bordered, they were starting to break up. I'm going to, it's a bit of a crap overview, but whatever. I'm going to just set up a game, show the character sheets, show the starting choices and all of that, and we'll play through a few turns. You can see how it sort of works out. Okay guys, so before we set up, I thought, well, I've already set the board up a little bit, but I thought I'd just go through the different characters. So we have the Bandito. He's, I like the Bandito side, but obviously we don't have the model for it yet. So it is sporting 2 guns. So basically we have the Bandito. These are his abilities, which we can roll. That indicates how many dice you're going to roll. Initiative is turn order. 3 is pretty low. This is what he's hitting on when you're shooting. This is what he's hitting on when you're fighting, punching. Max, so he's got combat of 2, which means he's rolling 2 dice in melee. Max grit of 2, he's going to start with 1. In addition to that, you're also going to get 1 starting ability. So twin guns, you may fire 2 guns per turn with no penalty, so you can crit with your twin guns, which is quite nice. So he gets an extra pistol. 2 grit to gain a dynamite token. That's pretty powerful, and he gets a dynamite satchel, which I think in the advanced rules prevents dynamite from blowing up, and 2 extra dynamite. Dynamite's very good, but I don't know how long term that one would be. Swindler, anytime you draw a loot card, you get another loot, and you get +1 combat, so that would mean in melee you'd be rolling 3 dice instead of 2. So more of a sort of, whatchamacallit, close range specialist. So his range skill is quite poor. So what you do is you choose one of these. So let's say I choose twin guns. The other 2 are now out of the game effectively. That sits alongside my card. sure you guys all know this, but it's just nice to see. You get your little side bag, and that will have a token in it in just a second. You pull out the twin pistols that you have. So, pistol and pistol. And they shoot 2 bullets. So you're rolling 2 dice each, a range of 6. So you're rolling 4 dice. And remember, if you roll a 6, you crit. So that's quite good. And then finally you get your flare. So personal item, so I'll shuffle that up, and we've got a locket. Okay, his mama. So he's got a picture of his mum. This is quite a nice one. So +1 spirit, which is it's not bad at it, so not amazing, but +1 to all your catch or breath rolls. So after a fight, you're going to heal more, which is really good. So that's him. What about later on in the game? Well, the customization does not stop there, not by any means. So just showing you briefly what the upgrade chart looks like for the bandit. So barrage, once per turn, use 1 grit to get 1 shot with each gun. Steel nerves, reroll willpower. Infamy, you get to buy stuff for cheaper. Accuracy, 4+ to hit, so still crap, but not so bad. Brawling is obviously for sort of with your fists. I don't know that I'll show all of them. If I do it like that, then the Super King can pause the video. And then Scoundrel, so kill an enemy, you get more grit back. Twitch, +4 initiative, so you get to go first. Lovable Scoundrel, double XP. I'm not sure about these. I mean, I obviously haven't played a campaign, but these anything which gives you more XP, to me, just seems a bit like... might mean that you run away with everybody, but whatever. And then won't stay dead, so instead of being KO'd, you can get back up. So there's some of the things. You're going to go up to level 8, so you can go up 2 trees effectively. In addition to that, depending on every turn, every time you level up, you're going to get a stat upgrade. Ooh, that's cool. Cunning plan. But so that's the bandit or the bandido in his in all his glory. I'm just going to move across rather than pan. Whoop. So this is the saloon girl. So her ability is Comforting Presence, so she gets to heal people near her, so anyone adjacent to her will heal a wound or a sanity. It's not as good as it seems. In my experience, you take a lot more than 1 wound, but it's nice slowly, and it gives her lots of good things. She's fast, so she gets +1 move. They say in the sort of discussions I've seen that they see her as more of a brawler. So she's got combat 2 to hit with melee. One of the weapons she can get early on in the game is a Darkstone Shiv, which is like a little knife. So that's quite powerful, I suppose. So then her cards: Acrobatic Dodge, move through other models during movement, and reroll a defense. And she's blocking on a 3+, so that makes her very tanky. Dirty Fighting, +1 damage to all attacks. That's pretty good. And Knockout Punch, use 1 grit to double the amount just rolled on one of your damage rolls. I'm not sure if that one would count for a gun. I don't see why it wouldn't, but Knockout Punch doesn't seem thematically strong. I've used Acrobatic Dodge to great effect, but I quite like the idea of +1 damage. I don't like the ones which use grit, just because I don't tend to have a lot of grit. I tend to burn through it pretty quickly. Again, you take a personal item for her. So she's got a cigarette. How apt. Recover 1 grit every time you scavenge or loot. That's very powerful. The personal items can be really, really good. She gets her holdout pistol, which is like a inferior pistol really, but it does give her a free attack. So this is the thing, she can use her melee ability and shoot as well, but it crits really easily, and it's got an upgrade slot. And then finally she'll take a saddlebag. I will briefly go through the other 2, although there's a risk that my video will run long. I'm not going to show everything. The US Marshal, he gets a shotgun, so if he kills someone, he can kill someone again. The shotgun rolls a D8 to hit, so obviously he's got a 4+ to hit, but 4+ on a D8 is really good. And normally you roll a 6 on a D6 to get a crit. With a shotgun, a 6, 7 or an 8 counts, so that's pretty cool as well. This D8, I swear, is weighted, because it's rolling well now, but I promise you, it rolls 2s more than anything else, so very annoying. And he's sort of like a tank, I suppose, so his abilities... oh, that's the gunslinger, sorry. So he gets to heal. Oh, anytime you kill someone, take a heal, which is nice. He's very tanky, same sort of defense as the Saloon Girl. Rolling Thunder, you get free grit back. That would be really good with him, actually, in retrospect. I took this one last time, but I hardly ever had any grit. Use 1 grit to heal 3 wounds or 3 sanities on yourself or another hero. So, and plus 2 sanity. Doesn't start with a lot. So they're all really nice flavours. Finally, the Gunslinger is probably the best character. Incredibly fast. He shoots everyone first. He's got his cool 6-shooter, which you ping through, and it just lets you add damage. It's hugely thematic. Hits on a 3+ as well, so he's just really cool. And his abilities are some of my favourite. So this one's absolutely amazing. Anytime a new enemy is placed on the board, immediately tack outside of sequence, so you're like shooting things as they come out, but you must have one hand free. The issue of equipping came up in the last game. Can you, out of turn, have one hand free, and then at the start of your turn equip 2 pistols? We decided you could, because it was my dad and he doesn't play very many games, but it was a good fun thing. Fanning, double the number of shots with a gun, but you need a hand open again. And reload, do use 2 grit to reload your 6-shooter. That could be really big later on when you get all of the different types of bullets. Just showing you their sort of skill trees, just because I think that people will want to know. And in the absence of an update, what the hell? Oh, let me just zoom out a bit, because I think, oh, I am as zoomed out as possible. So the Saloon Girl, I can't quite get in. She's got some fighting, okay, so she can start attacking more. You've got Moxie, so you can use different guns, so basically you make them sort of better at range shooting. Acrobatics, so you can ready once per fight items even though you've used them. +1 initiative, +1 agility, and +1 moves, nice. Auto escape, that's really good, and get free attacks. And then charm, you get to heal more, so that's your healing tree effectively. Okay, the bandit we've seen. I just think it's really nice. So the Gunslinger, through shot, you can kill people behind people. Master of killing, you can use your special 6-shooter with rifles and stuff. 2+ to hit, he's so good. Yeah, you can. Oh, I like this one. Catchphrase. Once per adventure, say your catchphrase to heal 2d6 wounds. It's just silly. I think you get to choose your catchphrase. And then these are cool. You get ricochet shots, so you can shoot around corners. Cerberus shots, which I think do fire. Oh, Hellfire will probably do fire shots. I can't remember what Cerberus do, but they're all kind of cool. And so on and so forth. So those are the characters. Oh, I didn't show you the rancher. Sorry, the marshal. So he's got sort of the traveller, so he gets more movement and just sort of like a utility tree. No shame in it. So corruption, shotgunning, stuff like that. I don't know him particularly well. Honour, so I think that's for healing and stuff. The martial bad's very powerful. And then fighting, so or bounty hunting, so he gets much better. So I'm going to play with these two guys just because they're out, so it might make sense. What I'll do is, you can see I've set up the game, so I'll ping through some of the cards and stuff. I think you get a lot for your money, okay? So look, this is none of the tiles, obviously, but I don't think you get a bad amount. So we'll zoom in on this bit, and then we'll see how the game plays. Okay, guys. We're back then with the bandit and the saloon girl. The mission I've chosen is one of the target specific ones. I like this one. I think it's probably going to be true for a lot of them. One second. So it's called the City of the Ancients. I'll not show you it, but I'll read you the story. Rumours have been swirling that a mine has been found with a stable gateway leading to a frozen over alien world with an ancient lost city covered in ice. There are stories of untold riches there and mechanical devices of super science beyond anything that anyone has ever seen. Of course, there are also tales of hideous monsters and massive automatons that stalk the cold corridors of the crumbling city. But those are all rumours, right? So the goal is to find a gate to the Targa Plateau and then find two clue tokens in the target plateau, and at that point we'll have an epic encounter, but because we only have 2 we'll have a high level encounter, yeah, if we kill them then we get some goodies. So that's the idea. So the game turns very basic really. The very first thing you can do, up in the top corner you can see the darkness trap. Slight warping I noticed just a second ago. It's not a lot, but just ever so slight. You can see it coming off the table, but whatever. So we need to roll a 7+ to hold back the darkness, otherwise it will come down. The darkness hammers you pretty badly. So anyway, I'll roll. Oh, you can't see that. There's the 6 and there's the 2. So I managed to hold back the darkness, so nothing bad happens. No monsters are on the screen, so we have to play in initiative order. So the saloon girl will go first, and then the bandit will go next. I'm in two minds about the auto move, so 1, 2, 3, 4 would be the auto move. I'll roll 2. You see what I mean? Like, there's a real risk you get left behind. I don't know if you remember that this lady's fast, so she gets the +1 movement, so she's actually going to go 1, 2, 3. I forgot to give each player a grit. She could add a grit at this point to her, or use a grit I should say, to get an extra dice, but I don't think it's necessary. One thing you can do on a space if you are lucky is scavenge. So this is not a tile which has been scavenged yet, so let's roll the dice. You roll 3 dice. Oh, there you go, 3 dice. Every 6 you roll lets you draw a scavenge card, and there's sort of a third good, a third bad, and a third indifferent. So we've rolled 1 6, which is kind of not ideal. So we take a scavenge card off the top. The card stock's pretty good. I'd like it to be linen, but FFP never do linen cards, so I can't really complain. And we have found a small find. Oh, that's good. So 25 gold pieces and 10 experience points. Now normally you would keep track of that, but I'm not going to, because I'm just showing you how that works. So now we put a little scavenge marker on the tile. They're quite nice little looking things as well. Oh, so there you go, scavenged. And the bandit swears because he wanted to do that. So now it's his go. We roll. Oh, he's got a 6. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now 6 takes him to the edge of the tile, and that means that we have the next thing, which is a looking through a door. So that lets us draw a map card, and we've found the mining lift. Now, I'll be honest, there is some advanced rules, and I think they're going to be very, very good to use, because basically every encounter you have on the relevant space will correspond to that space. So here we have a broken lift, and we actually had this last night, the encounter but not the card, where you find a lift filled, it's broken down, you can fix it. If you fix it you get some goodies. If you fail, some tentacles appear, as you do. So we pop that in like so. He's looked through the door, and we pop a little exploration counter on there to represent that the tile is due for exploration. Now that won't pop until everyone's had their go. Now it happens to be that is the end of the round, so now it will. But if there was another player, they would then have their go. They could even scavenge, I believe, in that room before this pops. So anyway, we flip it over. Right, so you can see here, it's an encounter. It's got a clue on it. So the clue, in this City of the Ancient mission, any token with a clue is deemed to have a gate, because the whole point of this mission is to get to the other world. So we use the map card, which cleverly I've put away, I believe. Yep. So we'll roll a dice to determine where the gate is. Lots of dice rolling, you can't get away from that. So it's a 5, and that means it's going to be down the south. And I just think it builds very nicely. So we've got an open door up there, we don't know where that goes to. We've got a snazzy gate, which of course looks far more exciting, and we're definitely going to go there. It also says an encounter, so I'm going to have to draw a mine encounter. Okay, so you take a mine encounter card. It's just so many cards. So we found the prospector. You find an old prospector in the mines. He looks at you with a suspicious glare. We need to choose a character to have cunning 5. So going down, she has cunning of 3 and he has cunning of 1. So I think we'll choose the saloon girl to have the thing. So she's rolling 3 dice. She is going to try and get a 5 plus. So 1, 2, 3 dice. Hey, she's got 2 5s. So she passes that. So if failed, he would have shot us. If successful, on the way out, he hands you a loot, and that's a random player. So we have these snazzy tokens here for each player. So I just take out the 2 ones which we need, which is the bandit and the saloon girl. Shuffle them up. Okay, and then we flip one over. Oh, and I suppose he's going to pay more attention to the saloon girl. I don't know why she's wearing a corset in the mines, but whatever. So it's the saloon girl that's tested. We look at her luck score, and you can see that that's a 3 as well. So just as before, she's going to be rolling 3 dice and hopefully rolling a 5. She's passed. Boom. So it says, if successful on his way out, he hands you a loot. If failed, he falls to his knees and explodes into loads of horrible gore. So the loot cards, you might have noticed, I don't know that I showed you, the scavenge cards go back into the deck and get shuffled up just like the loot do. So this is the same deck I'll be drawing from every time. So, oh, he's given us a Darkstone shard. So she's now on 30 XP and she also has a Darkstone shard. Okay, so that was the bandits go. We're on to round 2. We hold back the darkness. Oh, one thing I forgot to do is we've moved down the mine. And unfortunately, I just rolled 5 on holding back the darkness. So this will move down 1 as well. Now, I'll be honest, when I first heard this game, I was like, oh, 14 turns, 15 turns if you're unlucky. And then the game ends no matter what. 15 turns is a long time. Okay, we came close in my last game, and that took us like, what, 2.5 hours, 3 hours with 2 players, and I was loving every minute of it, but I don't think it's going to drop your game in and rush it anytime soon. So anyway, it's up to the lady's turn first. Oh dear, she's rolled a 1. So that means she gets a grit back. And because she's way behind anyway, she will, well, that's a Darkstone shard, she does get one of those from earlier anyway, so she can spend that to add another dice to her roll. Okay, so she's got 6 plus her fast ability, so 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So she is going to look through the door this time. So now it's the bandit's turn, and he's going to move 2, which is, oh, because of his special ability, that means he recovers a grit as well. Wild card means you get an extra grit on a roll of 1 or 2. So he'll move 2 more. 1, 2. So he's spent that grit. You don't get another one when you roll this dice. Grit is used to move further and to re-roll dice, basically. So she's looking through the door, but this time it's the Targa Plateau. So we flip this over and she's found a frozen path. So I need to hunt through the mine tiles, and they're all double-sided. So we will pull out this tile. You're supposed to orientate it. So what we'll do is we'll do it like that. We'll get this gentleman in here, and there is our portal. So we've gone through the other world. I do think it's cool. I don't really like it. Okay, so we place an exploration token on there. Oh, the bandit could have scavenged, but I forgot. If I was playing one player, I'd be more invested in them. So we've got an exploration token there. We've been very lucky. You might even think that it's not luck at all and Chris has pre-planned things. I wonder if that was the case. So anyway, it's the end of the round. We get to flip the token. So we have 2 encounters. Oh dear. There's 1 exit and there's 1 clue. And the goal of this game is to get two clue tokens in the Targa Plateau. So the very first thing we need to do is decide where the exit is. And again, so we only have 1 exit, so we're rolling the dice. 1 to 3 and 4 to 6. So I rolled a 5. So we can block off one of these exit spaces. It's just ending the frozen path. And then we have 2 encounters. Now these are from the Targa Plateau. Okay, so you're going to get both happening. Okay, so the first one is Ice Scarabs. Pouring out the cramps, hundreds of vicious Ice Scarabs attack. Every hero immediately takes their 2d6 minus their strength as they fend off the swarm. Ouch. Okay, this could be the end of this lady. Her strength is only 1. So hopefully she doesn't die. Oh, that's 7 health. So she takes 7 wounds and is not in a very good shape. Luckily, she has some bandages, so now this is where you can, as far as I'm aware, you can use grit to re-roll anything. As long as you can only re-roll it once, but you can re-roll anything. So she could re-roll that, but she's got some bandages. It's always worthwhile taking some healing stuff. The bandit is going to roll his strength's 4, so he's better at fighting them off. So he takes no damage at all. So that's the Ice Scarabs card. Then everyone gets some experience for it, because they get a cool story. And then finally, a Steep Ledge. This is one which is specific to a certain tile, so that's what I like about them. One of the walls has fallen away, revealing a long drop to an icy cavern below. The pathway feels narrow as the whistling wind rushes past your ears and the snow lashes at your face. It's like you're being pulled towards the perilous edge by a gaping maw of the icy abyss. Any hero making their move on this map tile must make the following: a strength +4 test. If failed, hero must discard a token from their side bag, and every one will mean that they have 2 sanity damage. So that remains in play, so I pop it underneath there. So a bad tile to be in. Okay, now that won't affect the bandit, but it will affect her, because when you're on that sort of twin space, you're deemed to be both here and here, if that makes sense. So you are partially on the tile. Okay. This is what I'm excited about. The Kickstarter brought in quite a few extra cards for these, and I think that they're going to bring a lot more into the game. Okay, that's the end of the round. We hold back the darkness. Okay, and we see, and unfortunately we've failed again. So, the darkness moves down. We get to a blood splat, and then we get to take a darkness card. Okay, so I'm just trying to show you an interesting one. This is what can happen, effectively. You can go quite a way before you actually see a monster. So I might have fudged this a little bit, but whatever. So we've pulled It's a Trap. What a surprise. So, ambush attack, draw a threat card. So, this is where the cards come in. You can see all of them over here. We've got low, medium, high, and epic. That's my discard pile for the Targa Plateau, so I'll probably put that away. We've got special artifacts for Targa, special artifacts for the mine. Anyway, we're going to draw a low threat card, and I'll just try and show you some of that. So, a peril dice of Stranglers. So the peril dice is a dice which is 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it only goes down to 3, and we'll roll a 5. And because it's an ambush attack, they have to appear near the heroes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we need to see who the 5th one, so there's 2 on each of them. Who's the 5th one going to be hunting? There you go. Oh, the saloon girl. Everyone loves her at the moment. Okay, so we've got the saloon girl here. We've got the 5 stranglers there. Now, on an ambush, they get +2 initiative, and their initiative is normally 4. So actually, they are going to go first. So, we have lots of things here. They roll 4 dice to attack. They hit on a 3+. If they roll any 6s, however, they're going to have lots of hits. So, we'll do the attacks on the little lady first. So, 4 dice per guy. So, we've got 3 attacks here. So, 1 hit. 1 hit which is deemed to be 3 hits. So, quite bad. So, actually, we've got 4 hits. Now, she is blocking on a 3+. Oh, she's rolled terribly. So now this is I'm a bit unsure. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. So we roll 1, 2, 1, 5. Let's spend our grit just because we can, and we can re-roll any number. So let's roll all of the failed ones. 6, 4, 3, 5. There we go. That's more like it. So she blocks everything from the first one. Now the next one. 4, 4, 3, 3. So 4 more hits. Hey, but she blocks all of them again, and then the final one for her. 1 hit and 1 super hit, so another 4 hits. Oh, and she's failed on 1, which will kill her. Now I believe these tokens, these bandages, can be used at any time, so let's heal up before we take that wound. So she's healed 6 wounds, so that brings her all the way back down to 1 wound, and then she takes 1. So she's done alright there. So that's how it worked. I rushed that a bit, but literally you're rolling to hit, and on a 3+ they hit, and if you roll any 6s then you add 2 more hits. Then you're rolling to defend, and if they hit they do 1 damage. Then we do it for the bandit, so we've got 1, 2, 3. I'm just going to do all the hits in 1 hit, so we've got 3 hits there for the first one, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits for the second one, so that's going to be 9 dice to defend on, and he has a defense of 4+, not 3+, so slightly weaker in terms of dodging, but he's not taken any wounds yet. Okay, so fail, 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 fail. This is why I love Ameritrash. I'm so terrible. So he takes 7 wounds as well. Marvellous. Okay, I just realised actually the saloon girl should have got a grit when that prospector gave him something because of the scavenge card, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So we've weathered the storm. Okay, now it is the saloon girl's turn, so now she gets to shoot back. Now the rules for this are when you're shooting, so she does have a weapon, you must shoot adjacent enemies, but after that you can target anything and nothing blocks line of sight. Okay, so in this case she could shoot the guy behind the bandit. She is unfortunately on the steep ledge. Okay, so she's going to get 1 dice. It's a bit irrelevant because she's not got any items left because her strength is only 1. She has failed, but you only take the sanity hits if you roll a 1, so she's fine for that. So first of all, this is where it can get a little tricky. You've got to keep in track of everything. First, she rolls her dice for movement, even though actually, really, she can't move very far. She's rolled a 3. If she had rolled a 1, then that would have allowed her a grit, so that's why we've got that. Now, she can move into the other world, and there's still line of sight there, but in order to move, she must escape the stranglers, and on their card, they have another roll to escape. So she needs to roll a 6+. Not quite sure how that works, but she needs to roll a 6+ on her thing. So she's going to try it, and she failed. So no dice on the escape. So now she has her attack. So we've got this +1 damage, so it doesn't really matter what, but she's going to use her fists because that will let her roll 2 dice. Her gun only lets her roll 1, and she's hitting on a 4+, so she's hit 1. Okay, I'm not sure if melee can crit. I don't see why it can't, but that's not a crit. So 5 is the attack. Now she rolls the damage. 3, but remember her dirty fighting means that it's 4. So she's now got 4 damage on the strangler. Annoyingly, they have a defense of 2, so that 4 pops down to a 2. So now the strangler she just attacked is on 1 wound, so he's taken 2 wounds and he's about to go down. Her hold-out pistol is quite nice. It only has 1 shot, so she's only rolling 1 dice for it, but it does give her a free attack, and it can be upgraded, which is cool too. So she's going to roll for that as well. She's hitting on a 4+. Oh, and she fluffs it, just like I always do. That's the end of her go. She can also heal this guy with his comforting presence, so 1 wound. Like I said, he's got 7 at the moment. It's not a huge boon, but it's better than nothing. And she gets some XP, and you studiously write it down on your little character sheet. Now it's the bandit's go. He gets to use his twin guns for this, so he's going to do really well. I may have forgotten to hold back the darkness, but it doesn't matter. So, 1 dice. Actually, no, I didn't. That's what spawned the Stranglers. 1 dice. He does get a grit because of his special ability, so now he's on 2 grit. And then he's rolling 4 dice, but he's hitting on a 5+. So he's not very accurate. He fires a lot, and that's miss, 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 miss. Enter the grit to re-roll all of those. Miss, 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 miss. And, and that's the case. So if they were to defeat them, then everyone would get a loot card, which we saw earlier, and they might pull out artifacts. So I'm not going to show you the rest of it. But you've got different artifacts. This is the mine artifact. So you've got the void pistol, the 3-eyed skull, the judge, the orb of Rokal, the ring of Tarkal. Got loads of cool stuff. Okay, some of these, like the Darkstone bullets, you can buy in the I don't know, town, I suppose is the right word. The Targa Plateau has Targa specific stuff. So void crystals, which can force gates. You've got the frozen isopod, where you can you get loads of cool stuff, but it might melt and come and attack you. You get some. This is why I wanted this one, not the swamps, because you get sort of high tech pistols and stuff. So the plasma arc, the Trun disintegrator. It's not that power. It doesn't fire a lot, but 3d6 is not a bad amount of damage. The Authority of Otar, so you get law. The Extentuator belt, it's like a gravity belt, and the deflection field. I'm not really sure what armor is, but whatever. And the teleportation bracelet. I love the high techness of it. I just think it's cool. The only other thing we didn't really see was the other world threat deck. So instead of drawing a threat card as normal in the other world, I suppose we might have had to have done that because she was on the corner, but you get sort of specific threats to the Targa Plateau. This has gone on way longer than I thought it would. It's just designed to give people a little bit of flavour. I did put a thread on about a play-by forum. I don't know. I mean, I'd love to do it. I just think that, I mean, it takes 2 turns just to get out this first place. So I'm not sure how fun it would actually be. If people can come up with a clever way of doing it, I'd love to do it, but meh, I don't know. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Okay, I will play on just to see how well these guys do, and I'll give you a little debrief when we get to the end of it. I think she's on about 50 XP, so we'll pretend that she got that, and I'll let you know how much XP and the like they got at the end. One thing I just forgot to say is if you are playing with 2 players, you get a little revive token. So she took nearly all of her health in damage in 1 hit. This revive token would mean that she could heal up for free without using an action or anything, and not take any injury because you're only 2 players. And in every game I've played, it's not been a big issue. It's been quite a fair way of doing it. We've still been close, but we have managed. It's achievable in the same breath. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. It is coming. I really want the 2nd set, and then I immediately will want the 3rd set and the 4th set. If you can get the minecart pledge, it's going to be good. The quality of the minis might not be up to much in terms of what people think, but actually, people say they're not as good as the Myth minis. I don't disagree that the definition isn't as good as the Myth minis, but they're cooler minis. Look at this guy. I mean, when you paint him, he's going to have a massive gaping hole. Anyway, I'm digressing, and this is running long. Hope you enjoyed.